October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Is this too big for them? They just gave me that.
What you want to do though is you might want to do your flies up.
Oh shit.
Nah, leave them undone.
With abs now, folks. I can't say that.
You think you'd have to do them up because of me? You say?
No,
You're too young.
I said the opposite.
Which colour do you want?
Red.
For the Mancunians?
Yeah.
But you're on the opposite team, ain't you?
I'm a Liverpool.
Right here we.
Why when you give it? Can you not give me a time in this? Joking.
Do you want a time limit?
No, it's fine.
And that's what I like about speaking to Ben Shalom. He always starts off with some kind of sarcasm. But at least you can be yourself with me, can't you? You know what? Shall we do this a little bit different, Ben? What do you want to say to me today? Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
don't want to say not a lot.
Ben Shalom's boxer. Why don't you want to say a lot, Ben?
I'm not sure what's there to say.
He's actually surprised that I'm here. We start there. Why are you surprised that I'm here with you today?
No, it was a joke. I thought
Stand on business,
You live in
Ben.
Birmingham, don't you?
I do.
So I thought you wouldn't be here.
But this isn't too far, though, is it?
Is it not?
You know it. You know it isn't. But welcome back. One thing I will say, and I'm going to start off this on a real positive note. You have got some kahunas. You've got resilience. And no one ain't knocking you down.
No, it's quite hard to do that, yeah.
Is it?
I think so now. I'm a pretty... been in the sport for a long time. I know people say, oh, well, he's this and he's young, but I've been in the sport for quite a long time now.
But the thing is, you've weathered the storm. You've not gone underground and disappeared and then we don't see you again. You've kept on going. Tell me about that, Ben Shalom. Because we see the more meek, the mild, the quieter one. Necessarily.
No, you know what it is? I like to work. I work. I would say, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I like I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business guy. I've had to do that since I was 18. So I know how to survive and I know how to create opportunity. That's my skill set. The promoter thing is like something that comes with the territory, but it's not what I do. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you're not the salesman, but you're a hustler.
I'm a business. I'm not. I don't think when I wake up, I want to get on a camera now and be a celebrity. No, but I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. It's not my passion.
Yeah.
It's not my passion. I like working though, and that's what it is. But at the same time, it's been fantastic because I knew that we had this option and I knew that we had things, but I couldn't. There's so many hoops to jump through with a broadcaster like the BBC and other things that are in the pipeline that I just have to block out the noise and get it done.
Yeah.
You know. So it wasn't that we didn't have a plan. It's just I had to focus on getting it done, and that's what I do.
Yeah, and I think that radio silence, which is what you're probably talking about there, all of us were like, I was messaging you, everyone was, where are you, what are you doing?
I think people thought I passed away.
No, because I'd occasionally get the sarcastic reply back from you. So I knew you was all right, but
can I tell you something?
Yeah, go on.
Can I tell you what it is?
Of course you can, this is your conversation.
This boxing world is not my world. Like,
but you're in it though?
Yeah, I'm in it. But when I'm not, I'm not. So my missus couldn't tell you the first thing about boxing. Doesn't even know, so my friends, it's just another world.
Okay.
So do you know what I mean? So when I'm in that world, it's not even a thing.
So you don't breathe, sleep, eat.
No, what
everything.
I'm saying is that this world is like an echo chamber, yeah?
Yeah,
and everything is, we think we're at the center of the universe.
Yes.
And when you step outside, because we've got other business interests or whatever, no one even knows what's going on. Sometimes we all think that
everyone knows.
Everyone's thinking, what's my next move? And then I get outside and no one gives a shit.
But don't you find that with anything though?
Yeah, I find it with anything. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, if you work in
The finance, the
finance,
corporate.
and you think
yeah.
that world is. So all I'm saying is, luckily, you know, maybe people are thinking, where's he gone? But I'm not thinking like that. I'm just, first of all, I got to
So
sort
while
of
we think
handle
you're
my
crying in a
business.
dark room, you're not. You're doing
I
other
actually
bits.
it was my first time off
Yeah.
since I was 23. I got my first time off.
How did it feel?
Unbelievable. I know, but it was good. It was nice, you know. It's been back to back to back to back to back. And it still was pretty intense. You know, I think Eubank, the show was meant to be in September, but from June, it was my first time off in a while. So that's all it was. It wasn't that deep. It was just, right, we've got to get this broadcast deal done. I've got to get that broadcast deal done. I've got to get this sponsorship deal done. I've got to go and meet with the big man in Saudi, sort that out, get everything together, and then we can go again. And that's all it was.
How has it been then from when it was almost like you was given the golden spoon, as it were, when it comes to like you came into boxing? I'm not saying that you didn't work for it, because I know you did. We've had this conversation. Guys, if you don't know that, you can look back through the several conversations I've had with Ben before. We've done that.
No one's going to do that.
Well, they might do.
They fall asleep.
Oh, whatever. Then that opportunity is no longer there. And then obviously we've had the legal stuff that's come out of it. And there's also, I know you can't talk about that because you can't, because it's legal, but it's just seemed like it was a messy divorce, Ben.
It wasn't, look, when I started working with Sky,
Yeah.
I wasn't handed the keys.
You wasn't?
It's top rank as well. If you look back,
Yeah, true.
it was
They're
us
air
and top rank.
Yes,
right?
yeah, you're right, yeah.
And there were a lot of conditions. So what happened with Matchroom was probably, I believe, Sky were like, we're never going to let that happen again. I.e., build a stable up, build the
Leave.
promoter strong, and allow him in a position where he can leave us with nothing. So I went into a situation that there wasn't the autonomy or the control or any sort of freedom that you would have expected. So in the first year, it was very much a top rank, and we were the subsidiary. We started growing, we started signing fighters and trying to fight for our position on the platform. That's what was going on. Wasn't, oh, we can sit back and plan for 3 years and just build. It was, we're going to fight for our position on the platform. We were doing Wasserman shows, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
We were
Cole,
doing
Cole,
there
yeah.
was top rank shows. There was all sorts. So we had to first get to the position where, okay, we've got enough fighters to fill the majority of the days. That probably took us 18 months. There was a lot going on in the sport at the time that people in boxing will understand in terms of who was in control of the sport. That was a toxic environment to be involved in and try and grow a business in.
Right.
And so it was the first 18 months was very interesting. And then what we achieved in a short space of time, a very short space of time, I believe was nothing short of phenomenal. Because, and again, you have to be a boxing insider to understand that. I know that my competitors know what I achieved was outrageous. I know it. And that what I'm still achieving is outrageous. None of them can do what I do. I'm 31 years old. I've done it from 23 with no help. They work for their parents, right? They work in a big corporation. They just have to think about the next interview they do. I know the way they talk about me is they can't do what I do. Without a doubt, and I know that. And one day, that'll become apparent. And so we didn't get handed keys. We didn't even get it. We weren't even probably, that wasn't what the intention was. We managed to develop a stable against the DAZN stuff, and then Saudi came in, and we had to battle at all times, and we always overachieved. We always fought above our weight, and I'm very proud of that. And we had some massive nights.
Yeah,
And
you can't deny the evidence.
And so, yeah, there was a lot that happened at the end, during the last year of that Sky deal, which I can't talk about.
I understand.
But what I will say is it will all become very, it will all come out in the wash. And it wasn't, I gotta be careful what I say, but it's not, things aren't always what they seem, and we had to survive, be resilient, and despite what was going on around us, do our next broadcast deal, and to be able to do that in that environment the environment that I was put in, I'm very proud of, and we're now here on the biggest platform in the UK with what I believe will become the most powerful platform in boxing, and people can't see it. I'm an entrepreneur. I see an opportunity, and I can see it. And when it becomes the most powerful platform in a year's time, I'm sure people go around, oh, how lucky is he to have landed on his feet and found a
Again.
way. I'm sure it's because of his surname and all the connections that he must have, or whatever they want to say, right? And we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was a testing period that most people would not come through. But I've been through many testing periods that most people wouldn't come through. And it probably wasn't my hardest test, but it was definitely a test.
You know what? I admire that. Whether I can see it through your eyes or not, because I'm not on the inside. I might be on the inside compared to people looking in, but I'm not on the inside, so I don't know the full ins and outs of what you did go through. But one of the things I do admire is the fact that you've stood on what you've said and backed your own self, which you've had to do. And that I will say, you have shown resilience, and I have said that. You took a lot of rubbish from the media. We're not innocent. From the public. Like you said, you've probably even recited what some people might say in the comments, that they'll be asleep. So if you're not asleep, guys, well done, you've got this far. But you've kept going.
I meant that because of you, actually.
Behave. You've kept going, and that is something, like I said, in itself to be proud of. And sometimes I think you hold back, and this is just my opinion as a human.
I hold back.
But sometimes I think you hold back when you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on to this. You say things when you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes you need to just pick your battles. Like, this was perfect because this is what we want to know. You've just laid it out on the line, even saying, look, I've had criticism because of my surname to think that I'm getting handed stuff, which in itself is discriminatory. So I'm glad you've actually said that. But one of the things that you did make me nervous was the other day when you was on TalkSport and you was talking about Chris Eubank Jr. and I was literally, it was a car crash. That interview was a car crash because I know, whatever, like you said, everyone knows Chris wasn't himself, whatever. That's down to public perception. That everyone's saying that his weight drained and whatever, that comes with it. But it was almost like you was drawn into, like, when somebody draws you out trying to get you to say something, but then you can get yourself into trouble because there's rules and regulations. If a fighter's not fit and you know about it, why are you letting them fight? Do you see what I'm saying? So when I'm watching that interview, I'm like this. I'm like, what's he doing?
No. You've got to understand.
Make me
There's
understand.
fighters on the card on Saturday night that aren't going in 100%.
No, but they never do.
Yeah.
But you said a shell of a man. A shell of a man. That's all I can hear even now, Ben. I'm like, why did he say that?
Because it was not Chris Eubank Jr., I'm not going to lie. It wasn't. That's all I'm going to say. It's not my place to comment on. I'm not a doctor and not on anything. Anyone can see that it wasn't. He threw 20% of the punches that he threw.
Yeah, I've seen
That's
the stats.
nothing to do with Conor. That's to do with what his body can do.
But did he pass
That's
the
it.
medicals to be able to?
Yeah, of
he was,
course.
to be fit and like
as I
you
say,
said, yeah.
I'm not the regulator of the sport, and ultimately, just because I'm just saying what is anyone can see. I'm saying what anyone can see. I'm not going to stand there and say, "Oh yeah, he wasn't a shell of himself." Of course he was. You can see through 20% of the punches. So that's all.
I get that, but then you could have said, you know what? Can't really talk about it. The best man won on the night.
As you said.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, as you said, probably maybe said a little too much. But listen, it is
Yeah, I was hiding
It did a
behind my
lot of
settee.
numbers. I was quite
Yeah,
impressed.
of course it would.
Yeah, I did.
I was behind my settee watching that.
Well, it's good entertainment for you.
It definitely was. But we are here,
Yeah.
and you have signed a deal with BBC. Everyone knows the BBC. Like you said, it's got a lot of online subscribers. It's terrestrial TV as well, and you're the first boxing promoter to land that since it was, what did they say, 25 years. And you kick off the show with the heavyweights, a British title fight.
It's
First
exciting.
fight.
Yeah, no, I am excited. It's not really hit me yet.
Hasn't it?
No, because it is a big deal. Obviously, I'm just thinking about the next show in
Okay,
January.
yeah,
and
planning, yeah.
But it is a big deal, you know. BBC Two is crazy. You know, I didn't. I remember when I was in January and February, I was like, Jesus, I could see people are up to no good around me. I need to plan something.
Okay.
And I was thinking, right, I like to bring boxing to mainstream audiences. That's why I started the business. Where do we go? I was thinking TNT. Okay, maybe there's other, but in my head I was thinking, what's the only platform that can really, really be powerful? Mm-hmm. And I thought the BBC. And I got it in my head. I was like, right, how do I convince them that now's the right time and I'm the right person?
Yeah, that's the hustler in you, though.
And yeah, and so I just went underground and just went back to what I did in 2018, when I'm thinking, all right, how am I going to get Sky? And I really just thought about it, studied their business, studied where they were in their ecosystem, what they needed to achieve, how they needed to attract younger audiences. And I thought, you know what, timing is everything. They need this as much as I want this. And it's come together. So I like it when you know it starts off an idea. So to actually be here on Saturday night on BBC Two, obviously it's quite a special feeling because it's a big deal and the BBC is a big deal and it's not been done in 20 years. So yeah, I'm excited. I really am. So it's a start of something new.
What have you learnt, Ben? What have you learnt? I mean, I asked you this before, and I think it was probably one of the last shows that you did with Sky, and it was when Natasha Jonas was fighting Lauren Price a while ago now. That's the last time I think we spoke properly. When you look at it, when you look at all of this boxing horizon and you look at all the years that you've gone through,
What I learned?
Yeah, what's been your lessons?
A lot, but I think the biggest one is just to be more careful, because and probably I'd have got away with it in other industries. And as I say, I do have other business interests where you can probably be less careful, more trusting of people. You know, business in other worlds, you know, it pays to be respectful. It pays to have integrity. But in boxing, the bad guys can win. You know, it's not like a normal world.
No, it isn't.
And
that's why it's so addictive.
It's a lesson, you know, and to probably be less trusting. It's a bad one, and people always said, don't change, don't become like.
But it's hard not to.
Hard because you leave yourself. You know, I always will act, in my eyes, with integrity, and I have values system, and I always believe that one day we're going to be judged, so that dictates how I behave. But that doesn't go for much, you know, other people don't think like that. So I think more protect myself and know your own worth, and yeah, just be careful, because, you know, when things are going well, people will blow smoke up your ass and be around, especially if you know you're the breadwinner, you're the one providing. But as soon as it's not, you got to be careful. And yeah, it's more, I think, separate. Be careful with personal relationships in a sport like boxing, because they don't exist.
I was about to say, can you have personal relationships?
No, they don't exist, and that is a sad truth. But unfortunately, that's true. and that's why you have the certain characters in boxing that do well in boxing. But let's be honest, you don't want to grow. You don't want to. They're not role models. They're not someone you want your kids to behave like. They're not someone you should be looking up to. And so I learned a lot. Like I've learned a lot, and again, not in a victim way. That's just me being
No,
naive.
you're just being honest.
Yeah, I'm just being honest.
We're not doing any of that.
Because it's not. I'm
It's
not
your
saying,
point of view.
It's just I was so
Invested.
young and so invested and so young.
And
And
passionate.
so I look, exactly. So I look back and I'm not saying, oh, you should have known. I couldn't have known. I have to
You go
go through
through the
those experiences. It doesn't matter how many who tells you. You have to go through it. You have to experience
Yeah, of
it. You have to
course.
feel the
pain.
pain, because otherwise you're gonna be complacent. You're not gonna. So I'm glad that I've had these learnings so early on. Like I feel like I've got the experience in business of a 50-year-old.
You know, I was just about to say that. I'm going to look forward, if I'm still here, to speaking to you in 10 years' time, to seeing if you've changed even more and if the trust is even less and has your moral compass changed. It's interesting, but I do agree to an extent that the sport can aid you, because I think even coming from a media perspective, no, I'm not handling large sums of cash and fighters, but even from a media perspective, it's definitely not what it seems. But I'm I don't trust anybody anyway, so that's kind of like one of my mottos in life. But I do get what you're saying, if I can, from my level of, perception
Exactly.
of the sport.
You'll probably experience in a similar way. It's just the nature of the sport that we're in.
Yeah.
But it's good, it's good life lessons, and I take everything in my stride. And to be honest, I'm grateful for every opportunity I get. I'm grateful for every lesson I receive as well.
There's a lot more that I'd like to go through, but I understand time is permitting. The final question, and it's something that I want to know. This is like to me. I was there when you signed Ben Whittaker. I was there for the launch. The secret filming at the gym. It was all hush hush. He was signing the silver medalist. He was going to be the next superstar. He was pivotal to boxer beginnings. Like I said, I was there. I witnessed it. What's it like to see him walk away?
I'm not going to say too much, because ultimately only he knows and only I know. And I think that's the way it will stay. Good luck to him. I don't wish bad on anyone, but that's it. I'm not gonna get here and do any sort of back and forth. It is what it is.
I wouldn't ask you to. It was just about how you felt, because obviously you were there at the beginning of his career. The time, the money, the investment. And I'll tell you the truth, I asked Eddie the same thing, because Eddie was saying one of the, he operates off loyalty with the people that are around him. And I said, well, this is going to be a difference in opinion, but I was saying that Ben has come to him. Can he trust him? Because if he's left one person, is that trust going to be there? Is that loyalty going to be there? And that's why I asked you that question. What was it like to see your baby, your superstar baby, walk off and go somewhere else?
To be honest, it's done, and I have to focus on our business. I have to focus on the BBC.
That's what you should have done in the TalkSport
And to be
interview,
honest,
ladies and gentlemen.
that is the truth. It's not relevant to me.
Okay,
As I said,
you don't see it as relevant.
As in,
I'd be heartbroken.
It's a situation between me and him, and that's it. And I'm not going to talk about that. I've got my own business to run. We've got BBC starting on Saturday, and that's it. Good luck to everyone.
Good luck to everyone. Listen, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I hope this, blossoms into a real good relationship. We need as much people in boxing as we can. You've now pulled it into another direction again. So, literally, all the best, Ben.
Respect.
10 years' time, are we going to...
We will. I hope.
Hopefully, I'm still here. I might be dead.
I hope I'm still looking
You
young.
could be having a funeral party for me.
Oh,
Ding
don't
dong, the
say
witch
that.
is dead.
I'm not
Ladies
sure
and
about that.
gentlemen, Ben Shalom, boxer, BBC. Look at all those Bs. The triple B.
Blossom.
Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.